pretty cool little art you got in the middle there.
Yeah.
What's that from?
Which one? You mean the art in the background?
Yeah.
The one during the break, right?
What's that from? Yeah.
That was from the original Street Fighter 2 ending, which is Ryu's ending, where is Ryu? Where is the champion? And they flash to him doing the walking through the trees. The fight, the championship means nothing to him. It is all about the fight. So I just thought, I was like thinking about, because we're doing 1, 2, and 3, and I was like, what's a podium? Oh,
okay, all right, I see the connection. Very nice, very nice.
I'm trying to do that. So
let's talk about our random select awards. Okay. This is whatever. Yes. Whatever we want to talk about. 3 things that didn't really neatly fit into the previous sections that we thought would be important.
Yep, and so I go first, right?
Yes, you do.
So mine is actually personal. It's basically my first esports year.
Esports gym.
Esports year. So I lost my job in the middle of the year last year, in the middle of 2016. And I was like, okay, so I'm sorry, in the middle of 2015 now. Holy crap. Yeah, really? I lost my job in the middle of 2015 because 2016 was the full year that I did this. Oh. Yeah. No, wait. 27. You're right. 2016 I lost it. 2017 was last year. Yeah. Holy shit, I still feel like we're in 2017 right now. Okay. I still feel like we're...
So this last year was the first one.
Yes, the last year. 2017 was my first full esports year. And, it's been an interesting ride so far. It's just... I've learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about this kind of lifestyle, which is just stuff that you wouldn't expect, like, from this kind of lifestyle. Okay. Like, it's weird because you're streaming a lot, you're talking to people, you're going to events, you're talking about it. This is a really lonely lifestyle. Like, I mentioned this in my New Year's resolution post, but, like, I discovered that, you're basically in your home all the time streaming and editing videos, and then you go travel, and then even when you're at an event, like, you just spend a lot of time in your hotel room or whatever like that. Or I have the introverted problem as well, where if I'm hanging out with a group of people, I'm just feeling bad about not hanging out with this other group of people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel, so it's like, I don't want to go through that. I'm just going to go to my hotel room, ignore everybody kind of thing. There's just, it's a lot of interesting things about this lifestyle. And even after I posted about it, what was interesting to me was that even Sejam responded to my tweet and was like, the loneliness was a huge problem for me as well.
Interesting.
And, so it's one of the things that people don't talk about that, that you don't actually feel like is a thing that actually happens. And it's weird. It's a weird kind of situation, that and just, trying to figure out if I can make this work financially and everything like that. Which I can only do right now because I have savings, right? So I've been skimming off of my savings a little by little. But to be honest with you, with that, even having said that, I did pretty okay last year. Yeah. So I'm going to give it another shot this year to see how it keeps going and everything like that, much to the dismay of my Asian parents. But, you got
to do you.
Yeah, no, I got to keep trying this. I'm going to keep trying to make it work. But then also... last year also taught me a lot about my own laziness, about streaming. So there's a lot of times where I'm just lying there. I'm like, I need to stream today. And then a cat jumps on me and I'm like, well, never mind about streaming. And then I just go to sleep and take a nap or something like that. So I need to fix a lot of that stuff too. Yeah. So it's a really interesting year. You find out a lot about yourself when it's not just like, go do your work. I mean, I'm sure you would feel it too because you have your own business, right? And so, like, when you're working at another company, it's just like you just go and you do your things. Things just happen automatically, right? Like this year is going to be kind of weird for me because now I have to pay way more for health insurance. I'm going to have to buy a new car pretty soon because my last car is total and I can't keep borrowing my parents' car forever like this. So it's going to be an interesting year for me. So hopefully I can make it work this year. It's going to be.
I hope it does work out.
It's going to be interesting.
But yeah, it's not easy to work for yourself and from home. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's my random select for number 3.
Number 3. All right, number 3 for me. Farewell to some really, really good games. I really, really liked Marvel 3, as I have said previously in this show. I really liked KI. Pity that it was only out for like a year. It was in beta for a while, and then they finally launched it on a platform that humans had access to.
They had it in beta, restricted access to a small group of people.
Unfortunate, yeah, that's right. But I really like it, and I really liked MKX. That was my favorite NRS game, and probably Injustice 2 I like more, to be honest. But I really, really like those games, and I'm sad to see them go. And it's kind of a bummer for me because I feel like KI has the potential to last for quite a long time.
Right.
If there weren't a bunch of other games, then I think it really, really could. Marvel 3, but for MVCI coming out, people would still be playing it.
Yeah,
and MKX, but for Injustice 2 coming out, people would still... In fact, there still is kind of a scene for MKX. They've actually done an all right job this time.
Yeah. The weirdest part about the Marvel one, too, is I feel like the Marvel community is in a crappy position because, like, I feel like they should absolutely keep playing Marvel 3. Right, like I felt that about Marvel 2 when Marvel 3 came out, right? But they're in a position right now where they have to dedicate everything to MVCI, otherwise that game is just gonna disappear. You know, honestly, like they don't have the facilities to dedicate to both games unless they just start doing multiple Marvel events. Like, actually, I think that would be kind of neat.
It would be very cool.
Make an event with Marvel 2, 3, and 4, and hell, put an MVC 1.
Yeah, I was just going to say
put
Marvel
an X-Men versus Street Fighter. Just do it. Let's just do it. Dude, I would love to see modern broken-ass versus X-Men Children of the Atom.
Oy.
I would be so excited to see people do stupid things with Sentinel.
Dang.
Sentinel had a freaking almost a dive kick in Coda. He would jump in the down and heavy. He would just do this, and he would spin around and just fall. And that thing had like the most ridiculous priority. Yeah,
okay.
He had like the most ridiculous priority on that thing, dude. But like, I would love to see an all. Dude, that's actually kind of a sick idea.
All right, James. Well, you know, pitch it.
In any case, okay.
Oh yeah, there's versus tournament in Ohio coming up. That's basically doing just that. Thank you to 645.
Really? Nice.
That is pretty cool, dude.
Let's do it. 645. Let's do it. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of a bummer to see those games go. I don't know what to be done about that. Probably just I don't know. Just how it is, I guess.
Okay. My second random select award is just basically 2018 is going to be nuts.
Okay.
2018 is going to be ridiculous. Soul Calibur 6
yes.
announced. Under Night and Birth is going to get buried. Obviously, Dragon Ball Fighters. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are getting added to Injustice.
BlazBlue Cross Tag.
BlazBlue Cross Tag. AE, which is already looking pretty crazy.
Looks much
for
better.
The double SO sessions. Dude, the combos actually look fun.
Some of them look cool, actually.
Did you see that Problem X combo?
You know I did, buddy.
Oh, God. I saw that, and I was like, ugh! Like, I got hyped, you know? Like, 2018 is either going to be the greatest year for the FGC or the worst. So
I don't think it can possibly be the worst.
I don't think it can possibly be the worst because we are in a different position. But I having been a person who has lived through the original Dark Ages, which was caused by too many games, and it just splintered the community so much that it really we can kind of see it already, which is my game's awesome, your game sucks, right? That happened a lot back then.
Yes, it did.
And that's kind of what kind of caused the initial downward swing of the fighting game community, is because there were so many games, and it was like, if I'm good at this game that fewer people play, then I don't need to play your games because I win in this game. So obviously this game is more strategic because I'm winning in this one and nobody else can beat me. And you kind of have that situation. Now, the thing about it is the fighting game community back then was this big. The fighting game community now is this big. Yeah. So the chances of that happening are very small. So you're right. It's probably like a very small chance that it could be the worst year, but man, for those people who love fighting games and want to play everything.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta make choices.
Oh man, I already had a hard enough time this. Dude, I just tweeted out yesterday about how bad my Manat sucks. Right, I played her on ranked. I dropped all the way to Ultra Silver again because I just kept losing. I was like, man, my Manat sucks. What's wrong? I can't get her. And then a lot of people were like, oh, you know, keep sticking at her or whatever. And then I just started thinking about it. I was like, that's the third time I've ever played her on rank. Like in the span of over a month, and I'm sad that I'm doing bad with Manat.
Yeah,
it's like this is the third time I played. Yeah, I should be doing bad. That's absolute, and it's just because I just don't have time to play this thing, you know. And so this next year is going to be a lot harder, dude. It's going to be a lot harder.
You got to make choices. Like for example, Ether9K says Eunice is low key one of the best fighters, but y'all will sleep. I loved Under Night, man. Dude. He and I played the game a lot.
There was one point in time
we went to Wednesday night fights or whatever, Thursday.
Dude, I got second place one time at Under Night.
Yeah, you went more than I did. Yeah.
I even who was it? I only lost to Breaker Dave, who just like destroyed me. But like I got second place.
Yeah, really, really good games for sure. Mm-hmm. But unlikely that they will be able to keep up with the likes of some of the others.
Yeah, there was one point in time where the Tuesday show we found a way to mention Under Night in Birth every week.
That's true. Yeah,
we were like, blah, blah, blah. Like Under Night in Birth, which is a great game. Play the game. Like, we love the game. And I say that it's going to get buried with a very heavy heart.
Yeah,
because I hope it doesn't happen. It's honestly one of the biggest problems of the game is just the crazy release. Obviously, it's very telling right now that one of the best ways to make a fighting game succeed is to release it worldwide at the same time. You know, because that's what a lot of the fighting games are doing now, and it's definitely succeeding a lot more. You know what I mean? Instead of this kind of tiered release kind of thing.
But Tekken 7.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, it didn't come out it came out on console for everybody at the same time, not for the arcade, but for the console at least. Yeah. So, but in any case, Honor Night in Birth is a great game.
It is. It is. All right, my number 2 random select. Mm-hmm. Right, you said yours.
Yes, that was the upcoming 2018 craziness.
Gotcha. Mine is Farewell to video game consoles. Yeah, aww. PC. That's all I need, baby. That's it. I am super happy about that. All the games that I care about right now are on PC. Games that will be coming out in the future have been announced for PC.
Right.
And even games that I care about that have been out that I guess I can play on PC now anyway, are coming out, like a Third Strike and stuff. That's all coming out for PC, among other stuff. And so I can basically just ditch those guys. Now, not everything is updated as well as it could be. Like, Injustice on PC is always, like, the patch behind.
Yeah, but that's not PC's fault.
No.
Right.
It's definitely not. I mean, it runs great. It plays great.
Right.
It's just, like, the patch behind. So if that gets fixed, then I officially will retire my PlayStation 4. I don't see any reason to keep it around. In fact, I've been thinking about just putting it in my backpack, my games backpack.
Oh, that's
and just leaving it there so that when I travel, it's just ready for instant transportation.
Actually. That's a great idea.
It's not even plugged in at all.
Yeah. Okay. I still don't play games on my PC.
I'm very happy.
It's crazy. I don't understand it. But I will tell you one thing, though. This is completely outside of the scope of everything, just a funny story about PS4. My friend visited for Christmas, my best friend from up north, and he brought with him his PlayStation VR headset.
Oh,
so I actually got to try the PlayStation VR headset, and that was a very interesting experience.
Was it weird?
After having played it, I can almost confidently say that VR is not the future.
Okay.
Because there will be people like me.
Oh.
Okay, I put on the headset to play some Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
I drove the car straight. I took a turn. I took it off.
You just couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I almost died.
Did it feel bad? I mean, what was
what I discovered that is the weirdest problem for me is that when I take a turn, I expect G-forces to do this. Like if I turn this way, I expect to be pulled this way.
Oh.
When you are not pulled that way, what it feels like is someone is actually pushing you. It's weird. Because you're not moving, so you feel like there's another force preventing you from doing that. And my brain just went, nope. And I was like, I'm about to puke. And I took the headset off. And then we also played a game called, we played Paranormal Activity, which is you just walk through a house. Yeah. And keep in mind, the effect is amazing. Like, you're in this house and you just feel like you are in this house. Okay. It is crazy, right? But, it's weird. Even in that, I'm not driving. I just want to walk forward. Yeah. And I don't feel myself walking forward. So I feel like someone's pushing me in the opposite direction. So I start leaning to compensate. I almost fell over because I was leaning. And it took me a while to get used to it. I was eventually playing it, but it was really weird.
Interesting.
It was really weird. But I will say I also played Battlefront 1, which is a Star Wars game. And they have one VR mission where you're sitting in an X-Wing. Coolest thing. It was the coolest thing. I'm not even going to lie. Because they even made fake legs and a hand that's controlling a thing for you that's based on how you're moving the joystick. But you're looking around and there's buttons everywhere.
Yeah, right.
And I was my friend Jason didn't even know you could hit all the buttons. I just started hitting him and a little targeting mechanic came out. Like the almost there tracking thing.
What do you mean you were hitting them? You mean you were reaching out in physical space?
So if you stare at the button... And then you can hit a button and it counts as you pressing that button. If you focus on that button, and then you can make the foils go up and down. And when you're, I don't know, it was it was like the immersion is ridiculous. It is pretty ridiculous, I'm going to say. And then I started playing it, and then I swerved around a Star Destroyer, and I got so sick. I got so sick.
Do you think that you could power through it? Is that possible?
I think what's actually strangely going to happen, I know they say you do not teach VR to kids, but in order for VR to be successful, I think you're going to have to take VR. I think VR classes is going to have to be a standard in high school.
Classes?
I think VR is just going to be a standard in high school to get your brain used to that kind of thing. Because I'm old. I have 40 years of expecting car movements at this point in time. Okay. It's really hard for me to... What is weird, though, because my friend Jason, he just does it fine. He's just as old as I am. Right. So I don't know. I'm just messed up that way.
I don't know, man.
But in any case, that's so totally a tangent that I just want to bring up because...
My brother brought home the Vive. Is that what it is?
The Vive, yeah. Oh, so you got to try the Vive?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
It was pretty cool tech. It like looks at the room, right? It like sees what your surroundings are. So you can have the mask on, and then in the mode where you're not playing a game, and you just see the whole world, like projected into your eyes. And I just found myself just like seeing what I could see, just like walking around. It was the whole world's green, and I'm like trying to figure out where I am. Thought it was really fun, actually.
Okay.
And then he had all the games are terrible.
Oh yeah,
terrible games. All of them were solved very easily. Like there was a game where it was like an RPG, I guess. You're like walking around, hitting skeletons with your sword.
Okay, yeah.
And you like pick up a better sword, and whenever you got a bow and arrow and stuff.
Right.
And I figured out that you solve every boss by just lying down on your back and just going. Meh.
Because he can't hit you because you're too low.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. Yeah. Oh, that is the true gamer right there.
Yeah, my brother got mad at me. He was like, of course you would do that.
Oh, man.
That's so like the game sucked, but I thought it was cool tech.
It's like a lot of people getting mad at me when I played Cuphead. You played Cuphead, right? So I did the Contra 3 tech, where you hold fire button and you keep mashing on switch weapon.
Okay.
So basically you fire two sets of weapons at the same time. So I killed a lot of bosses super fast.
That makes sense.
And they patched it out, actually. I did not think that was a mistake. I thought that they would have played Contra 3 and knew about that tech. But yeah, but I mean, I will say this about the VR, though. Like, that Paranormal Activity, like, when they do jump scares on you, that shit is freaky.
I'm not going to play horror for sure.
Dude, I had to try it, and I was just like, oh my, like there are just times where you just like things get dark and all of a sudden, boom, something's in your face, or dude, what was some of the others? The other weird part too is while you're walking through the house though, anytime you walk near a wall, I automatically start leaning away from the wall, even though the wall's not there. And sure enough, while you're playing, like it was actually good that my friend was in the room watching me play, because he said like when he was playing it at his house, he took off the headset and he had moved like clear across the room. Like you don't even notice where you're moving. You move so far away from everything because of weird natural. You think you're only rotating in one space. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway,
sorry, I totally tangented it.
Super tangent. All right, what do you got for? I think number 1 on random select.
Number 1 on random select. So that your number 1 was Farewell to Consoles.
That was my number 2.
That was your number 2. Oops, I had it written as
Consoles died.
Okay, yours was number 2. Sorry about that. I have all the numbers wrong. This is super confusing. So my number 1 random select, also a personal thing for me, was learning Tekken 7.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably my happiest accomplishment of the year. Like, even with this esports thing that I'm doing or whatever like that. But actually sitting down and learning Tekken 7 has been such a joy. And such, I mean, I get salty, obviously I get mad, that's what happens when you play fighting games, but it has literally been probably one of the coolest things for me that I understand this game. It was great learning to play a new game like that, and I really felt like I started getting it. I really, really honestly feel like I get it. As bad as I am at the game right now, a lot of it I feel like is just, 1, my movement sucks, which is super important, and 2, it's just character unfamiliarity, but like a lot of the things that are going on in the game, I'm understanding. There's a lot of confusing things in the game that I still have a lot more to work on, but like, I don't know, I had so much fun with it. I really, really did, and it was cool learning a completely different game.
Right.
It was cool learning a completely different game that played nothing like I did, and It's so funny too, because like I said, I kept dying to the empty jumping law player because he would empty jump and then just do some weird chain. Like I don't know why he was doing that as a strategy, but it would destroy me because when you see an empty jump in Street Fighter, you automatically low block.
That's funny, man.
I'm like, empty jump, oh shit! And you're like, I'm smart. I reacted to your empty jump on low, and then I just get hit by mid and die. So he just killed me based on reactions and stuff like that. But learning that game was so much fun, and I'm so excited to keep playing it this year. I want to keep playing as much of it as I can. So
sounds good.
In fact, I'm probably actually going to try to teach the game in a weird way, as bad as I am, but like talk about it from the things that I've learned, and try to approach it from a different standpoint than a lot of other people have taught the game. So
sounds good, man. Looking forward to that. Okay. Well, my number one on the Random Select Award is congrats to everybody who's in the FGC pre-2018. You have made it in before the 18ers arrive, which is what's going to happen with DBFZ. I think that it's going to blow up in a huge way. It's almost impossible to me that it wouldn't blow up. Like it wouldn't be gigantic in a way that hasn't been seen in the FGC since SF4. I'm going to put it up on that pedestal. Not that SF4 is the greatest game, just it had a giant impact.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of the impact.
Like I said, from 2008, from that Evo crowd to 2009, like
different
night
story.
And day.
Different story.
Yeah.
So 09ers, or what we talk about as being the new folks who came in at that time, because they were all new. And like I said, the hugely increased numbers everywhere. That's really what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
So
welcome 018ers.
Congrats to everybody who's pre-18. You get to say that you were OG in a few years. You get to say that you're a veteran. You're not part of this 18er craze. So you've been around.
When Street Fighter V came out, do you not consider that like as significant as like when Street Fighter 4 came out? Because obviously that was the what is that?
Yeah, no, all right. Yeah, I do.
Do you? Okay, because I actually don't know if I consider it even as significant. Yeah.
No, I think the most significant thing is probably Street Fighter 4. Yeah, that's true. But
2018 with Dragon Ball has the potential to be like that Street Fighter 4.
But I think Street Fighter 5 Season 1 Evo time.
Oh, yeah.
5,000 people entered.
How many people do you think are going to be at Evo for Dragon Ball this year?
Forget about it, man. Thousands of people. I have no idea. And everybody who's in the FGC says they're going to play it, right? Regardless of game you play. Everybody's excited for it. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be gigantic.
Okay.
We'll see, though.
And again, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with these things, and I'm doing a terrible job up here, but, it's all mistakes everywhere. But
God, if you played vanilla Street Fighter 2 in a bowling alley, you are old.
Dude, it's true story.
Facts.
When Champion Edition came out, it first came out in a bowling alley in the Inland Empire. I was sick. I was home from school, and I crawled out of bed, and my brother was home from college, so we could drive there.
Okay.
And so even though I was sick home from school, I didn't intentionally ditch it.
You're pulling a Ferris Bueller's
Day
off here.
I was sick, and the friends called me, and they were like, it's at a bowling alley.
Oh,
and
you're literally Cameron.
Yeah, and I went. And when I went there was one machine, and everybody who was from that area was there.
Yeah.
Like, everybody
and you ended up having a great time.
And it was the most ridiculous
When you came back, you accidentally crashed your dad's car.
Yeah, and I had to drive it back. I was driving it backwards.
You never seen Ferris Bueller's Day
No,
Off?
I was about to say, I was driving it backwards, reversing the mileage, and then I kicked it, and it went through the window. And
Got it.
There you go. James Chen's Day Off. Well, shake it on, baby.
All right.
Okay, Okay.
Yeah, you got a bunch of people sick.
Probably did.
So it was worth it.
So now we're going to do worst.
Worst. Oh,
worst of 2017.
It could be anything.
Anything that you want. So
could be a person.
Could be an event. Could be a concept. Anything. What did you think was bad this year?
People.
Number 3.
What sucked?
Of what sucked.
I thought there were a bunch of things that I could choose from in this category, but the category is horrible drops that are things you're going to think about when you're 90 years old. And I picked Hochi Focus dropping the combo on Nemo.
Oh, no.
Just the worst brain fart ever. He's done that combo 10,000 times, and he didn't do it, and then he lost, And then he lost again to be eliminated from the tournament. Meanwhile, Nemo went on to make 4th place overall. Right?
Yes.
At Capcom Cup. We all saw it. It was broadcast internationally.
Was it 4th or was it even 3rd?
Or was he 3rd place?
I think it was 3rd.
He was up there, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That could have been prevented if Hochi Focus had not dropped the combo.
Yeah.
And he will think about that for the rest of his life.
Hopefully not. Hopefully
I'm sure he will.
Because I have seen players crumble from that kind of thing. And I'm not even talking about FGC members. I'm talking about Nick Anderson free throws here, okay? Like, Nick Anderson missed 4 free throws to send a game into overtime for the Orlando Magic, and he was like an 80% free throw shooter. And the next year, he was like a 40% free throw shooter, and it just never
came back.
Never came back, and he was just done after that. So things like that can really get to you. So, oh man,
bummer.
Yeah,
he dropped it. All right. Anyway, what's your pick?
I had trouble picking. Weirdly enough, I had trouble thinking of stuff, but then I just remembered one.
I feel like you've been crapping on 2017 this whole time.
Yeah, I know, which is weird. But like, I've been crapping on it more as in terms of like not as everything's been bad. Like everything's been stagnant kind of a thing, away. But what I'm actually going to put as number 3 was the Abigail reveal.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Because Evo was a cornucopia of amazing announcements.
Fantastic day.
Fantastic day. We got Geese.
Yes.
We got Blaze Blue cross tag battle.
Yes. Amazing.
We even
not
got
expected at all.
We had some cool Dragon Ball Fighters characters. And then at Capcom's turn for Street Fighter V, they're like, here's Abigail. Everyone's like, what the? Dude.
It was a mystifying moment.
And it was so
confusing.
So mystifying that after Top 8 had completed, everybody stayed because they were so confident there was going to be another trailer or something. Like everyone was just kind of waiting for it, and nothing happened. And so what's really bad about that too is that Abigail's actually super cool.
Honestly, he's one of my favorite fighting game characters in recent times.
Yeah,
I really like him.
I'm surprised at how much I've turned out liking him.
I think he's awesome. I really do.
The fact that trailer not only had the mess up with that he was beefed out the entire time.
Graphical glitch.
Yeah, like there was just so many. Like it was just done in such a way that you just didn't get they really should have let him play out the dancing or the finger guns. All these things. There was so much they could have did to make the character seem so much cooler. It made me really I just saw him. I was like, this is the worst character ever. After the reveal was there.
Yeah, sure. A lot of I was in the stands for that, and although I've seen video now where people seem like they're going, whoa, yeah, whoa. I can tell you that was not how it was in our little corner of the woods.
Yeah.
There was just confusion.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand if people hate that character, especially from playing against him.
Oh, gameplay. If you don't play as him, he is super obnoxious.
Yeah,
but also, he's a polarizing design. I think I like him a lot. I can see a lot of people would hate him.
I thought the coolest thing that we heard was that when we were at First Attack, someone's like, "My kids love this character because he's like a Shrek. He's the first kind of weirdly cartoony kind of
big
goofball character," and I thought that was kind of an interesting take on it.
That's true.
I hadn't even thought about it that way. So
that's true. Yeah, the Juggernaut mod actually is really sick.
Oh, is there a Juggernaut mod on the PC? Nice.
Yeah. Hey, cool. PC man.
Oh, that's where they got to make the Jack mod. Someone's needs to make Jack 7 mod on the PC. There you go. That would be cool. Perfect. So.
All right. What do you got? Wait, no, is it me?
Yeah, it's number 3 for you now.
No, I did my number 3. It was
so now it's your number.
Hochi dropping.
That's right. So now it's your number 2. Okay.
My number 2 is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's graphics. I find the game very fun. I play it a lot. I think it's really interesting. I like that it has the crazy crap. I think the unblockable is sick, James. I love it.
Have you done it? Have you pulled it off yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I have lariated through people trying to do it, and that's a blast. So I like having strong consequences in that kind of game, and that's it. So anyway, I like the gameplay is the point. But man, the graphics are bad. Now they were worse originally, right?
Chun face.
They were worse.
Chris face. Oh my god,
boy. But even still, the characters look gross. The Infinity Storms are just, you know, if you're colorblind, just give it up. There's just no chance at all. And the character select screen is like the first time I can ever think of when a character select actually bled over one side or the other. Can you even think of that ever happening? Who would do that? But there it is. Put them below or something, right? Like, I don't know. There must be some better option.
I know, right?
Hey, there it is. So that sucks. It's very unfortunate. Of course, that's a big part of why the game had a poor opening.
Yes.
Especially, as you were saying, in conjunction with Dragon Ball being announced at the same time, which is the most gorgeous game ever. The contrast is obvious. So, you know, that's bad news. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to even kick it up a notch.
Okay.
Right? Because my number 2 actually is MVCI presentation.
Okay, that may be a better way to put it.
Yeah, because I think it's even just beyond the graphics. Okay. I think it's beyond the graphics, too, because honestly, the game is ugly, right? But, you know, I had a talk about this with just my friend, great game designer out there, and we were just talking about all the problems the game had. The game, I mean, the way that I describe it, a long time ago, I visited my friend in Berkeley. He took me to a mall, and he was like, you want to see the saddest toy store ever in the world? And we went to this mall, and it's like the shelves were kind of empty. The lighting was really dark. There was this weird, sad feel to it. Okay. And that's what MVCI is, really, honestly. Like, you just watch it, and it just looks depressing because the colors are not popping. Everything feels washed out. The graphics aren't good. The hit sparks. Do you remember when Marvel 3 came out? Everyone was like, what the hell's wrong with these hit sparks? They're gigantic. They block the view and everything. After we played it, you just don't even notice it anymore. But it's cool looking. It really was cool looking. Dude, pay attention to the hit sparks in MVCI next time. It's the saddest hit sparks ever. It's just like everywhere, right? The menu is terrible. Like, you go look at the menu, they just look like debug menus that they never properly filled out. You know, just everything about the music is not exciting. Even like my friend that I was talking to, he's like, you activate Space Dome, and it's not exciting.
Right.
Like, there's a box around the guy. And it's like, it's a big moment. It should be like, here we go. Like, here's the Infinity Storm. But like, it's just not presented well.
Like the audiovisual side doesn't make it clear.
Everything that I've ever said about Injustice is true about MVCI, but even more. Like, even more so, honestly. Like, the game and it's hard to watch. When you watch it, characters are switching all over the place, and it's, like, really hard to keep track. And then, you know, giant chaotic flame is going over here. The other guy's blocking, and then the guy mixes them up. Not only can the player not see what the mix-up is, which is part of the gameplay, but we can't see what happens. So the players watching can't see what happens, so we don't know what the cool mix-up was. And then, so you're just watching it, and you're like, well, he couldn't block, and he died. Like, can you imagine if Marvel had a viewer mode where the outline of the character was there 100% of the time? Like on FPSs.
That would be pretty cool, man.
Like on FPSs, how you can see the outlines on a viewer mode. Like, if Marvel had a viewer mode where you could see the outlines of characters all the time for viewers, that would be sick.
Yeah, I'm with you. That would be sick.
So there's just so much wrong with Marvel, and the reason why I think a lot of people really dislike the game is because when you watch it, it just makes you sad. Like, there's nothing about the game that makes you excited. And so I just...
Audio-visually.
Yeah, audio-visually. The gameplay is ridiculous. If you can follow it, and again, I love the gameplay. I love the game, but I will 100% acknowledge the fact that the game really, really just failed on the presentation side of things.
Sounds right to me.
And it's just, even when you go into the menus, like I said, you feel depressed as you're going through everything. You know what I mean? There's nothing about it that feels exciting. Like, the menus, like when you did this, like transition, Spider-Man, Hulk, you know, and stuff like that. Nope. It's just the saddest menu in the world, so...
We're going to be tag team partners? Interesting. Tagger. That's his quote. Oh, cool, man. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, it's unfortunate because, you know, I've talked to Capcom people, and they're like, you know, a lot of people were mad at Street Fighter V gameplay, so they focused on gameplay. They put most of their I'm assuming very low budget into the gameplay, and I think they succeeded in that. But
Agreed.
Presentation is everything, man. Like you said, like why is Tekken 7 that much different than the previous Tekken games? You add one slow motion thing, and all of a sudden, like I don't know, exactly, it's crazy. But even when you're like, here comes the next battle, it's all the glass everywhere. I don't know, the game just looks cool. You know, there's just a really cool presentation.
Interesting.
Honestly, even AE looks already that much better.
Much better.
Like I'm already just more hyped watching the versus screen.
Even the menu screen in training mode, which they were showing earlier today, even that looks better.
Right.
It really does. It's everything.
Yeah, exactly. Presentation makes such a difference, and I don't want anybody to ever, say graphics don't matter anymore, because it's just not true. It's not true.
Look, I doesn't matter that much to me, but I understand that it matters in general.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care about it, but I know that it matters to other people, so it matters.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going number 1 then?
Yep.
Worst of 2017. The worst thing.
What is the worst of 2017?
The worst thing was Fantasy Strike.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. I played quite a bit of it over the break. That is to say, I went to visit family in North Carolina. And during that time, I didn't have much to do for part of it, so I played Fantasy Strike. And I just think that it's a bad game. I don't know how much of a blow-up I want this to be, but it's everything.
It's
everything, James.
The tweet I tweeted you at about, because I saw you tweeting about that, and I tweeted you. You're like, dude, after playing that game, you wanted to learn PAC Infinite.
Oh my god, there's nothing to it. There's absolutely nothing to it. And I don't. So some characters are interesting, right? There's a couple characters that have like some mechanics that allow for a little bit of creativity. But I jumped into the game playing as Rook, which is the grappler. I think I figured out why he's called Rook. See, he's a rock. All right, so you get the right. They're close. On top of that, he just moves forward and backwards. There's nothing else about him. It's just a rook. It's very simple. It's simplistic. It's not just simple. I just feel like there's very little to it, and it is. It is so much a rip on moves and ideas.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're rebranded mostly, but like for example, when I was trying out one of the characters, I literally looked at what his. You have 3 normal attacks, right? There's 3 normal attacks.
Okay.
That's it. And I looked at the 3, and I knew he was a Guile Nash character. I knew he had Sonic Boom.
Right.
I knew he had Flash Kick. Like because you see the moves, and you're like, well, yep, there's Guile back fist, got it. Boy. Jeez.
You can stop now if you want. You can just stop now.
I only got one more thing.
Okay.
And it's a little bit positive. If you know and have played fighting games and you recognize where the things are ripped from and you've played more complex games, I think then there's nothing for you in it.
Right.
But if you're somebody who's newer, then I think that there can be things for you. I think it can be an intro. Except with the exception that no other game doesn't have overhead low mix-ups.
Right. Because you were saying that
no other game has don't do anything at all and you'll counter stuff. Like there's.
You said like when you were playing the Guile versus Zangief match, like there was just one point in time that he was throwing sonic booms and you were nullifying them, and there was just basically nothing else to do. Like there was no reason to not keep doing that.
Some people said that I should have done slide head. Yes, slide head.
Okay.
It's an air. You do it from the air, but
It's slide head.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you should do slide head, and I was thinking, like if I need to get in, then I should do that, but. If we're even on life, why do I do that? Because then I have to block the boom.
Right,
And I don't have any walk speed. I have like a little command dash special move that moves me forward a little bit, but I have now taken damage in a way that I'm not sure I can really make up. So, I don't know.
Okay.
There might be a little bit more complexity than that. I might have given it some short shrift, but I really think that there's very little.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
hey.
Okay.
I don't know. Usually I have some positive It's positive words, but if you are a new player or know somebody who's a new player, again, that doesn't have rooks standing normal is a sweep. It's Zangief sweep.
But there's no high-low.
But there's no high-low.
Right.
Why did they bother animating it like that? Why? I don't.
All right, let's move on. Move on. My number one, and this is kind of funny saying this as number one after that last one. My number one is negativity.
Well, all right.
You know, I know this is about FGC stuff, you know, and you know, honestly, this negativity is applied to pretty much everything. This is not even just this is a social media problem.
Okay.
Right. This is a social media problem, and that the social media has created this very hive mind mentality, and in fact, it's very emphasized by, for example, like The Last Jedi. Right. So, like, for example, I didn't really like it so much. I'm on the negative side, but I thought it was good. Right? Yeah. I was like, if it wasn't a Star Wars, I'm one of those people. If it wasn't a Star Wars movie, I think the movie would have been fantastic. My brother's like, I really like this movie, right? But, you know, it's not the greatest Star Wars movie, but I really liked it. The two of us talk about it, we start arguing, and then you start reading all the things on it, and then, like, someone praises it, you're like, yeah, this guy's right. Or you see someone talk shit about it, and you're like, that guy's right. And eventually your opinion just starts to drift. To the polar opposites. Now, like, whereas I didn't even dislike the movie, now I'm like, this is garbage. You know, like, you know, it gets that way. And so a lot of that has happened because of social media, and I feel like that's affecting a lot of fighting games right now. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people with negativity out there, and I know, you know, I said this in my New Year's resolution, or my New Year's post as well on Twitter. You know, the whole concept of shill is just like, is so infuriating to me, right? Because, you know, I feel like I'm a person that spends my entire life trying so hard to promote fighting games because I love fighting games so much. And like, I've been genuinely honest about my opinion on fighting games, you know, all this stuff. And then everyone out there, every time I'm like, oh, I like MVCI, everyone's like, you're a shill, you're a shill. I've been called a shill like maybe once a week, right, on social media, right? Anytime I say anything remotely positive about MVCI, it's like shill, you know? And it's like that, it's that same thing, right? It's, you just get polar opposited, you get pushed to these opposites, and it's frustrating. I've spent this year more talking about like how great Tekken is.
Yeah.
About how great Injustice is, about how great Guilty Gear is, and no one's ever called me a shill for any of those games.
Right.
As soon as I say anything positive about MVCI, it's like, you're a shill. People still in the chat are insisting that all the people who said good things about Marvel during the beta and when it came out are part of some shill squad or something like that, right? Like, these people are literally enjoying the game. And there was even a thread where someone was just like, I like this game much better than MVC3 because, you know, I hate X Factor. X Factor's the stupidest thing. And this game, you know, a lot of people are like, it's weird because your mindset is messed up because you're like, I hate that this game rewards unsafe stuff. And I'm like, maybe you should reevaluate what counts as unsafe in the game.
Bam.
Right? It's just a completely different game. There's different ways to punish things. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that there's so much good about this game, but every time you say anything good about it, you know, and I just spent the last section talking so much shit about this game too, right? But at the same time, I think that the game is fun. And I literally enjoy the game, and the negativity right now, the fact that everybody, if somebody likes something that you don't like, you have to come up with an excuse why they like it. You know what I mean? It can't just be because they enjoy it. It has to be because they're getting paid to do it, or they're forced to do it, or something.
I don't know what makes people think that there's a budget that could pay people.
Yeah.
MVCI seems like it's the game that has the kind of budget.
Yeah. I literally had someone tell me, I'm sorry, apologies if I'm calling you out on social media, but he just literally was telling me, he was like, Street Fighter V and MVCI are both garbage. Nobody likes them, and that is a fact. Like, he was arguing me with that. Like, nobody likes Street Fighter V. And I was like, that's not true at all. I was like, people like MVCI. Right? And he was like, nope, like, everyone hates it. Like, nope. I was trying to say that's an opinion, but he's like, no, because, like, this is stupid, that's stupid, that's stupid, so that proves it's a fact. And I'm like, what do you not understand about fact? You know? Like,
fact.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Webster says.
And basically, he implied that everybody who said anything positive of the game is forced to. Like, those are literally his words, that they're forced to like the game.
Well, that's inaccurate.
Yeah, and this kind of negativity is really frustrating to me. But I felt like it was even more prevalent this year than ever before. You know, and it's kind of frustrating. And maybe it is because it is one of the first times that a Capcom game has received this kind of negativity. And so, you know, being a predominant Capcom head, you know, it feels different because people have been shitting on games before. But even stuff like KOF, like I spent the beginning of the year being like, give KOF a chance. Don't worry about the graphics and stuff like that. And I think the graphics are better now, you know, but everyone's like, well, if you're saying don't care about the graphics in FGC, why didn't you say that about KOF? Because I was like, because I did. You know, but people want to hear what they want to hear. So, any case, the negativity I felt like this year was just, it was so overbearing. It makes it tough. Makes it tough sometimes to want to keep doing that, especially because I honestly, you know, really do love this community. I love fighting games, and I want to see it grow. And to have people basically, you know, doubt my intentions is really rough. It's hard to take a lot of the time.
I hear you, Bubs. I hear you.
Yeah. So that's my number one worst.
You know what I'm looking forward to?
What's that?
Gonna happen is when Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out, and some people say X and Y is too good. It's cheap. They're only losing because it's cheap. And if it wasn't like that, if the game was about footsies, then they'd be doing fantastically. And yet, right now, they're very much looking forward to it. There's that cycle. Cycle will occur.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be interesting, too, because I wonder how much the Xenoverse crowd out there is going to cry about this game. You know, like, if they're going to be so loud that it's going to be a problem. I hope not. And that's why, like I said...
I definitely don't care.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, they're going to be the people who are going to inflate a lot of the numbers, right? So, like, what I'm hoping for... That's why I even made the plea to people, like, if you run into these guys online and you blow them up or whatever...
Yeah.
Like, don't rub it in their face.
Don't be like a purposeful butthole, but I also... It's not going to bug me when some people don't like the game and stop playing. That is not going to be any sweat off my back. Because there's going to be a lot of people who will continue to play it.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
All good.
And sorry, DBZ fans, but or DB fans, Yamcha has to be a playable character in the game. Otherwise, it's...
I don't know anything about it.
This is a
Goku.
So, but it's funny because I actually found out that Yamcha is supposed to be a jobber in the storyline. And that's all I need to know now that I'm probably going to use him now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's supposed to suck.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a shitty fighter in this canon. So, like, I was like, okay, so I think I'm going to go for him because, like, I'm the Luigi fan, right? I've always been the low-tier hero guy. So I'll play him because he's supposed to be low-tier, and I think it'll be fun beating people up. So my initial team right now is him. If Android 21 is playable, I will definitely play Android 21.
She's cool.
And and I would probably pick Tien just because he looks cool. He's the guy with the third eye, I think.
Oh, I know who he is.
Oh, okay.
As of last month. No. Well, I'm going to play Goku Black, and Super Saiyajin God Super Saiyan Goku.
Yeah, SSGSS or something. Yeah. Goku.
That's the heiress, right?
Yeah, dude. Whenever I see the character's name, I crack up. Although some people on Twitter told me that that's how it's pronounced in other languages.
Oh,
that
okay,
hearing Goku just sounds like it's correct.
Right.
So
okay.
I don't know. Certainly in English, people don't say that.